Rebel Noir. And I get to know these beautiful people in a lot of different ways. And what excites me about this series as a whole and getting to talk to each of you is that, you know, as artists, often we get on stage, we do the thing, and then we leave. And there's not really a lot of opportunities to, people don't want to hear you talk about what the song means. They're there doing all the stuff, right? Like, you don't get really a lot of opportunity to share as a human and as an artist about what people are seeing and what they create. And so it just feels important, and I have questions, some of the usual questions, but other questions that are not so usual, to give you all space to share. So we're here for about an hour and a half and change. It's going to be a mix of conversation. It's going to be a mix of music. I have not told anybody here what the questions are, so you're going to get their full answers and not premeditated like, ooh, how does this word go or where to put it. And we're just going to go from there. So thank you so much to the library for having us and for really creating this. Like, artists really need a space to share who we are beyond our performance. So what we'll do is I'll just ask everybody for starters just to say your name and the band that you are representing tonight. I know y'all have a bajillion projects, but just who you are performing as tonight. And we'll start with you. Just your name and where you're representing.
My name is Devin Vargo. I'm based in South Bend, Mishawaka area, but I'm representing City Sutton tonight.
My name is Nia. I go by Reminisce X. I am from South Bend.
I am Devin Brewer, and I am representing Overgrowth, which is based in Elkhart.
Awesome. So we got the whole region spread out here. And the first thing that I asked was, if you had to introduce yourself with one of your songs, which one would you choose? So if somebody said, who are you? And you were like, well, I'll answer that with a song. Which song would you choose? So we'll let everybody introduce themselves by way of song, and then we'll go from there. And we'll have you, since you're all the way over there, Devin, we'll have you start.
Okay. You want me to perform the
Yes.
song? Okay.
Yes,
yeah,
I do.
let's do it. Okay. Let me move the mic a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll start by just kind of like introducing the song itself.
No,
also.
you just
Is that
gotta,
all right?
nope, you
Okay.
gotta start with the song, and then you can say why. Hard and fast with the rules over here.
Oh, it's like a game.
So this song is called Longest Dream. It's not out yet, but we play it at every show. We've been playing it at every show for a few years now. So yeah, let's do it.
Oh, cool.
Every day I'm falling, I can hear you calling out my name. Waiting, feels like I've been waiting forever for the day that I see your face. This must be the longest dream I just can't come out of. I need someone to shake me, wake me up trees they fall like thunder. It's deafening. Looking for the way to open the door that locked behind me. Steps retraced. This must be the longest dream I just can't come out of. Oh, oh. I need someone to shake me, wake me up from under. Oh, oh. This must be the longest dream I just can't come out of. Oh, oh. I need someone to shake me, wake me up from under. Oh, oh. This must be the longest dream I just can't come out of. Oh, oh.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so now you can say like something about why.
Like why? Oh, okay, cool, cool. So you could probably tell the solo sections in that song are largely improvised, mistakes and all. Which is, the fun part of it is you're running a risk, every time you play it is like you're coming up with something emotional, what you're going through on the spot. And I feel like a lot of us as humans, we kind of, by default, expect people to show us their perfect version of themselves every time we're in front of them and stuff. And life just really is not that way. And I don't know, like a decade ago, or I guess when I feel like I finally matured mentally as a songwriter and as a person, it was like, humans are beautiful, flaws and all. And so I kind of, approached that song and the style of like improv, which is a large part of our live shows, in that way where every single night you're getting a unique experience with the band in the way that we're putting a lot of ourselves in trying to connect with, who's in the room each night, by doing something different, maybe taking it a different way. Maybe we didn't have a great day and you guys aren't having a great day either. And it's, it's putting it all out there. But that song, I guess to sum it up, that's why I chose it, was just kind of, it's one that hits every part of the, I guess, the thesis of like what City Sun does. It's got, things that I think people could sing along to, and connect with us on that level if that's something that they're into. And, if they're more into the improv or like the jam style of music, they can connect to that too without it being, a 30-minute cut of a song. So.
Thank you so much. I'm already learning so much. I did not know that about that song. We'll have you go. Okay, so you're introducing yourself as a song, Reminisce. What would it be?
Go ahead and play it then.
$1.96.
Yeah. Just to check this account. Yeah. If you could turn it up some.
That's it. $1.96.
$1.96.
Yeah. That's it. $1.96.
Direct deposit don't hit until
Monday.
I guess I'm eating ramen from now until
Sunday.
my rent is hungry, asking me to feed it some.
Monday.
But I ain't got the bread, just some presents still.
Friday.
Splitting tongues like I'm splitting hairs. The cashier's looking at me weird, and everybody's giving me a stare like, ooh, she broke, look, I'm well aware. Now, can you take $1.60 off this card? Think I got 59 cents on a gift card. Saving up some change just to make sure I got this far. I'ma make it ring, what's my name on the black card? Black card, I wish I had that card. Black wallet wearing all black in my black card. Black compliments from my ex and the black stars. I keep this confidence till my bank account recharge from.
$1.96.
Yeah.
I got $1.96.
Yeah.
$1.96.
That's it, that's all, that's all, yeah.
I got $1.96.
Yeah.
Just $1.96.
Just $1,
$1.96.
$1.96. I'm a back, I wanna quit, but I can't. My manager I'm planning to hit a lick on him. Check the check, I'm estimating the tax. I'm calculating the debt, insurance making the debt. I wanna say forget it and just quit my day job. Stay to making music, make it my all day job. YOLO be the motto, got dreams of rocking Apollo. This music is like the lotto, I play till my pockets hollow. Paying bellas with funky beaches, they never finish. Fools afraid of success, rather be some finesses. My team gon' be on the top, you ain't gotta believe us. I move in silence and quiet, I just keep all the sleepers. Dream so real that I sleep with my eyes open. Goal so clear, it be keeping my mind focused. This may sound weird
when depression sets in. I only depend on my friends, my mic and my pen.
Woo, broke like a goofy old joke that ain't funny. I don't he
About my money.
I'm just trying to see how I'ma pay for this track. My cash looking whack, dang, I hope these fellas don't tax cuz, yeah.
I got $1.96.
Yeah.
Just $1.96.
Yeah.
$1.96.
That's it, that's all, that's yeah.
I got $1.96.
Just $1 to dollar.
$1.96.
Just $1 to dollar.
$1.96.
I got $1 to $1.96. YOLO be the motto, got dreams of rocking Apollo. This music is like the lotto, I play it in my pockets. Hello.
This music is like the lotto.
Hello.
Play it in my pockets, hello.
YOLO be the motto, got dreams of rocking Apollo. This music is like the lotto, I play it in my pockets. Hello.
Play it in my pockets, hello.
If your bank account said no?
$1.96.
Just $1 to $1.
$1.96.
I got $1 to $1.
$1.96.
Just $1 to $1.
$1.96.
Yeah.
$1.96.
Yeah.
Just $1.96. Just $1.96.
Yeah.
$1.96.
YOLO be the motto.
Yeah, Thank you. Thank you. And a little something. Thank you for the folks that just came in. It's good to see you.
Yeah. The more the merrier.
Come on in. The other people, come on in. We're glad to see you too.
Just to catch you guys up, I just performed my song $1.96. I wrote it at a very low point in my life, early mid-20s. Didn't really have a dime in my account. I think all I had was $1.96 until payday. I have dealt with very racist boss. I've dealt with bosses that have assumed certain things just because of my gender and things like that. So, working within systems that are not necessarily built for you, it makes it very difficult to survive. So I wrote that song, at a very low point in my life. But when I started to perform it, I started to notice that everybody, no matter, your color, your creed, your gender, your identity, whoever you are, you identify with that song because at one point in your life, all you had was $1.96, if not less, and, money can't buy happiness, but sometimes it can buy you a meal.
Right. Yeah.
So, I kind of have this thing about me where, I'm kind of considered the broke hippie chick. Because, I'm definitely down for the peace and love. And I'm broke, but not in the sense that, I don't have love, I don't have happiness. I'm more broke in the sense of, I ain't got $1 to my name sometimes. So, just kind of utilizing that energy. I wrote that song to relate to people, and that song has also gotten me paid $1,000 just to sing it. So that was, it's a very sobering moment when $1 gets turned into 1,000. So
more of that, please.
Yeah.
We want more of that. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much. All right. And Devin, you got to introduce yourself as a song. What would it be?
The song
One of
is
your
called
songs.
Tough Luck.
Woo! All right. Okay, what's
So
your one?
that song I chose because it's really funky, and that's it. That's Overgrowth to me is a project that excels by being really simple in the most complicated way possible. I think that song conveys that a lot. There's a lot of parts, a lot of moving parts in that song that are all relatively simple, but when you put it all together and then you got to change parts every couple of seconds, you got a lot to remember. It can be it could be a little overwhelming for some people, but I really like it because when I formed Overgrowth, it was really meant to challenge myself and honestly whoever I was playing with in the band. I think Overgrowth is really good for all of us just pushing each other and trying to become better musicians. And that song is just that's one that definitely pushed us, I think, as a group as a whole. And yeah, it's fun to play, and I think it's a good song to dance to, so it can connect with audiences on that level. I just wanted it to be a song with a groove that felt like someone dropped a brick house on your head.
Well, I mean, I always like to dance to that one too. And I think that's super helpful too, because my second question, thank you for the segue, was I don't know why you all are named what you're named, right? Like Overgrowth, I think.
The name Overgrowth, it's really an underwhelming story, but I was in my basement where we used to rehearse regularly, and I looked outside, and I live right on the Elkhart River. I just looked outside my window. I was like, oh my gosh, everything is, like, I had just cut down all these weeds, all these trees and stuff that were growing on the bluff in front of my house, and it was just completely overgrown. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cool name, Overgrowth? Yeah. It was literally as simple as that. And then, it just kind of clicked with me in my head, and I was like, but I feel like I have to spell it weird in case I get sued if someone ever had the name. So, yeah, I spell it really weird.
Which is OV.
Yeah, and then the all caps is a reference to MF Doom, of course, the late great.
I love that. Okay, so this way and that way then. Reminisce X, why? I've always been curious about why your name is that.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I'm a big fan of Lauryn Hill, and I was very heavy in the Black Power movement of 2016 era. So when I decided to become a rapper artist, it's probably around 2018. So I wanted to make sure that I stayed with my roots, you know. I always wondered why Malcolm X called himself Malcolm X. Like, what's the big deal with that? Finding out that the X is the unknown factor. So I was like, I was gonna call myself Nostalgia. But then, when I was, looking it up, it seemed like it was a normal thing for people to say. And it just seemed like an everyday term. But the term reminisce did not seem like an everyday term. I know that there are Remy's and the drink Remy and Remy Ma and things like that, but the word reminisce wasn't, it would be said, but it wouldn't be it wasn't a name, you know, not to me. So I put Reminisce X because it was reminiscing on the unknown factor, because I wanted to give people nostalgia. I wanted people to hear me and then just be like, this is familiar. I don't know why, but it's giving me comfort. So that's all I wanted to be for people. It's just a level of comfort for them. So that's why I called myself Reminisce X.
I love it. Thank you. And that has been unpacked for me. I've been wanting to ask that question for a while. Okay, how about you, sir?
It's not really that that captivating. It's me and the founding member and I of City Sun. 10 years or 11 years ago, we were driving through Grand Rapids at like, you know, when the sun was like just kind of over the skyline. For reference, like the City Sun started when I was in college. I went to school about an hour north of Grand Rapids, and so we would go to Grand Rapids all the time. And so that's the reason why we were driving, you know, through the city, and we just kind of saw the sun over the skyline, and it was like, you know, it just clicked. The phrase just kind of rolled off the tongue, or the two words just kind of rolled off the tongue, and we were like already looking for a different band name. So
Always the question.
yeah. Just kind of a fresh start, and that just, it seemed to make sense, and we both just kind of were like, it sounds good. Sounds cool.
Okay. I love it. That's what it takes sometimes. It's just, I won't go through why I'm called Rebel Noir. That's just too much unpacking. But like, no, I'll save it for later.
Okay.
Okay, so, well, you sort of touched base a little bit about you were forming your band in college. So how did you start? Like, I think the origin story of the musicians that we see can be either inspiring for us or kind of powerful, right? Like, how did you decide? Because it is a little bit of a decision. A lot of people sing in the shower, right? Like, you don't necessarily turn that into something, right? So maybe what was the moment where you decided that, like, I really want to do this? I want to perform. I want to pursue music. What's a little bit of your story around that? And we'll go here.
Oh, starting with me?
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to be a performer. Well, wow. All right. My origin story is a little spread out. I said my first rap that I heard on television when I was about 5 or 6 years old. The song Whole World by Outkast came out. And out of all the rhymes that I could remember, Killer Mike stood out to me, apparently. And one day, I guess 106 in Park played it, and I was like spitting Killer Mike's whole verse, and my parents were just like, what is going on here? Like, not only are you rapping, saying the words properly, but like, wow, all right. And like, he is saying some very off the wall things, like hand on my, and like just crazy stuff. And my parents aren't even like, you know, connecting the idea that I am saying things that a grown man is saying about women and things. And they're just like, oh man, she can rap. That's cool. So around the age of 8 years old, I was getting teased at school, and I came home crying, and my dad was like, well, you need to make a diss track because you know you're a rapper. And I was like, okay. So he helped me write my first diss track.
Thanks,
and I
Dad.
actually did go back to school, and I spit it, and I used the word reciprocate.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. So the girls were like, and what does reciprocate mean? Because I know somebody wrote that for you. So I told them what it meant, but they couldn't prove that that was what it meant. So that was like a whole nother can of worms of, well, boo you know, at least I can rap. So then later on, around the age of 13, because at that point I had been just saying that one rap that I wrote when I was 8, and it was starting to get a little old. My dad put me in a DJ academy, so I ended up learning how to DJ. And then I was like, well, that's the skill that I'm going to go into adulthood with. So I learned how to produce and DJ. But then, oddly enough, best ideas happen on a drunk night, huh? In 20
Sometimes the worst ones do, too. I mean,
right? But I was making some good decisions, apparently, because I ended up in a studio on a drunk night, and I was singing the hook to a song, and I was trying to give it to this rapper, and he was like, okay, I'll take it, but, you know, try and write something. So I started freestyling, and then before I knew it, I wrote a whole song. And then the next thing I knew, I wrote another song. And the next thing I knew, I wrote another song. And then I wrote $1.96. And ever since then, it's just been like a snowball effect of music. So ever since 2018. So that's why it's kind of checkered, but, you know, it's kind of been all my life.
I love it. Come on, 8-year-old diss track.
Right,
I want to hear that at a show.
Oh, God.
I might need to use that on some. Okay, no, I don't.
maybe.
I,
I don't know.
I only have friends. I don't have
Girls
any
be hating
enemies.
on
I don't
me.
need a diss track yet. Okay, how about you?
Honestly, music has really been a part of my entire life. My dad is an art teacher and has been a musician since before I was born, so I was just always around it. Like when I was a kid, I remember being dragged to random gigs that my dad would be playing and hanging out while he was playing, and he'd play in the church band. He'd have to drag us extra early to church. We'd be running around getting in trouble while he's on stage, and he can't do anything. He can't whoop us because he's on stage at the church. So, but we always had instruments at home, and you know, I just thought that was cool as a little kid, as little kids do. My kids are the same way. They always want to play on my gear stuff. I'm like, you can't afford that, man. Don't touch that. but I would always be playing on the drum set there, and my brother was interested in guitar, so we would just hang out and just connect over music. Like my brother and I would just jam all the time and just play music together constantly. And then eventually that led to me being in the church band and playing, just playing drums every Sunday. And that gave me a lot of experience in live performance. So by the time I was in high school, I could finally start my own band and make music that I wanted to make, which we did for a couple years. We performed pretty much all over Indiana. By the time that band ended up, like I closed that chapter on my life was like when we graduated, but we were like on tour before that as like in high school, like traveling all throughout Indiana and Michigan, playing all over the place. Wow. Which is crazy to think back on that we were doing that in high school. And then I ended up taking some time off because I had my first child, and I thought I was going to have to give it up. But I ended up reconnecting with it. I think my dad just knew that I needed to have music, and you guys were working together at the time, and what ended up being now Rebel Noir and the Accomplices. And my dad was like, someone had bailed on a gig at the last minute, and my dad was like, I know a drummer. So he brought me into the fold, and during that time, I definitely needed that, and I pretty much just stayed the course. I've been in Rebel Noir ever since. My position has changed. During COVID, I got really interested in the idea of playing the keyboards because I had, up until that point, had to rely on other people for songwriting, essentially, because the drums, like you can play the drums to any song, but you can't necessarily write melodies and all this stuff on drums. So I was like, what's an instrument that I could play and be totally independent while doing it, and I could write every part of every song I want. And I picked the keyboard, and I kind of just locked in, especially during COVID. I would just stay in the house and practice for like 6 hours a day for like a year and a half, and then I was gigging on keyboards. And I moved over to keys in Rebel Noir, and eventually decided to start Overgrowth to push myself harder musically because I wanted to play music that was beyond what my capabilities were at the time. And eventually that led me to meeting Devin, who I brought into Overgrowth. And then after I saw him play, I was like, dude, I need to get this guy in Rebel Noir.
Yeah.
And then so it just kind of spitballed. But yeah, I grew up in a musical and artistic household where that was encouraged, which is a huge blessing, and I wish that more kids had that. So I do try to encourage that in my day-to-day life. I encourage it for my kids, and I try and I'm actually a school bus driver for Elkhart Public Schools. I'm always playing some weird old head music from the 70s for these kids on the bus, and they're always annoyed, like, what are you making us listen to? I'm like, look, one day you might appreciate jazz fusion. You don't right now, but one day you might.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
Thank
that's how that started.
Okay. And then Devin, and then we'll get some more. Speaking of music, we'll play some more songs.
Yeah, the origin isn't too far off from other Devons. Also, I've been doing. I started playing drums when I was 3. I say playing loosely. I started really just like hitting the drum kit when I was 3, and it felt like a natural sense of rhythm. Nobody else in my family plays music. I guess that's like where we differ, in the timeline, or whatever you want to call it.
Parallel universe.
Yeah. So it was really interesting for my parents to be like, we don't know where this is coming from, But really, the main inspiration was the music that my aunt listened to, and she was not that much older than me. So like she was just really, really cool and liked, Kiss, but she liked jazz music, like she liked jam band music. She really just loved everything, and I think that's where I got my love of like just listening to everything from. And so learning the drums, I had so many of her CDs like stashed away, like, or I put them in the CD player and play drums along to them when I got a little bit more coordinated. And then 3 or 4 years later, I picked up her bass. She played bass. And so I picked up her bass because she stopped playing bass and moved over to guitar shortly after. And then, it's just been something that I've always connected with and wanted to do every single day. Even in school, it was most of my classes were, how can I fill my day up with music? Whether it's taking extra band classes or lessons or doing marching band, which is, a huge commitment at most schools, and doing, jazz band on top of that, and just staying busy that way, and still getting home and practicing every night after that. I didn't really go outside or have a lot of friends. But yeah, and I'd been playing in bands since I was 12, I think was my first band where my parents would drive me to open mics and drop me off so me and my 2 friends could play Green Day songs or whatever we were listening to at the time, and did similar to Devin, started traveling when I got my license to go and play with bands or go and pull up at an open mic or something by myself. And after high school, started City Sun in college, and here we are.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I asked was, what is a favorite song of your own to play? And so what we'll do is we'll go kind of here, there. So you get to, what's one of your favorite songs?
So the song that I chose for this one is called Terminal 2. It's really just Overgrowth. A lot of what I want to convey with my music is just raw energy. And this song it has that in spades. Especially a lot of Overgrowth stuff is just super fun to experience live with the full band, but I try to get that electricity into these records as much as I can. This one, I think, just connects. It's one of the ones that just connects with the audience really well a lot of the time. So we usually close with this one when we're playing it live, and it's just always fun. That's really what it comes down to. And that's really what music is about for me at this point in my life. I just want to do stuff that I like with people that I like doing it with.
Sweet. All right.
Let's hear it for Terminal 2. I will not jump up and down. This is one of my favorite ones. more. Are we really done? Is it really done? Thank you so much. All right, Devin, your favorite song. Other Devin, yeah. Ooh, I got to clarify. First Devin, second Devin, not a Devin. I'm also not a Devin.
This one's called Over Again. That's usually the tentative title for it anyway. Devin knows, like, we have like 17 different titles for all the unreleased stuff, so.
Stuck on the same page, even the same lines over again. I go back and the words don't change. Tell me what am I to do then? Moving on, feel so far. How can I pass this down? Today I'll do it all over again. Try to do it different than I did back then. Learn from time, live the climb. Tomorrow I'll do it all over again. Days seem to get longer. Now one feels like 5. I know I can't squander what makes me feel alive. Moving on, feel so far. How can I pass this hard? Today I'll do it all over again. Try to do it different than I did back then. Learn from time, take the climb. Tomorrow I'll do it all over again. I'll do it all over again. Try to do it different than I did back then. Learn from time, take the climb. Tomorrow I'll do it all over again. Thanks.
Yeah. Yes. Amazing.
That's my favorite. It's just fun to play. I don't know. It means a lot too. I mean, it's about being stuck and just getting over the hurdle of whatever you're doing. If it's writing a song, you know, writer's block really sucks. And it was like also COVID when I wrote that song, and it just really felt like every single day was the same thing over and over again. And I was still going to work, and it was like, okay, I'm just going to work, coming home, staying home.
Yeah.
Playing guitar, which is great. I love that, of course. But at a certain point, it's like, okay, if there's no gigs happening, I can't see my friends. What's going on? You know? So yeah, the same thing over again.
Thank you. I love one of the things that I love is that like I'm actually hearing the words. Like when you're at a show, there's a million things going on. The speaker is too loud, and it can really sound like so like I'm like oh, okay, great. I'm learning the lyrics while I'm sitting up here.
Yeah,
Okay,
nice.
yes, your favorite song.
Okay. I'll explain why this is my favorite song in a minute. Hopefully it's your favorite song once I'm done. You can all have a good time. I'ma keep my peace. I'ma set a boundary. You are not expected to dance, but if you do, I would love to see it. Do what you want, don't break, 'cause it's your world. Check it out. Look. Howdy, partner, we're out here vibing. Take the vibe and we gon' tie-dye. I have a rap, so the haters be quiet. They talk the talk, but the talk sounds silent. Oh, now violent, don't try it. Got time to blow, deep breath, you know. Got green to smoke or edible. Don't worry about it, baby, it's medicinal. Imagination's a piece of the principle. If you what you want, what you're looking for. Inhale, deep breath, exhale the roar. Create the new vibe and then look no more, huh? You got a problem to solve, well, if it's out of your control, don't get too involved. Hit a beat with your feet, baby, keep your peace. Stays up on repeat, I'ma keep my peace, okay? I'ma set a boundary. I'ma keep my peace. I'ma set a boundary. Well, I'ma keep my peace. I'ma set a boundary. I'ma keep my peace. I'ma set a boundary. Hey. Do what you want, don't break, 'cause it's your world. Check it out, check it out. Keeping your peace is good for you, go girl. What are you saying?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Close your eyes, clear your mind, time to meditate. Take a hit of the so we can elevate. And I'm gonna spit some life in this beat so that we can celebrate. Huh? You made it out of your funk, you about to get stuff done. You gonna have some fun, you gonna get stuff done. If you haven't heard it today, I'm proud of you, hun. Ain't no competition, baby, you already won.
So this was the wrong version of the song. Because it wasn't supposed to have the words in it. But either way, still wrote it.
I'm still
Keeping your pieces good for you, go girl.
Yes.
So, thank you. That is actually my favorite song to perform because I have been performing it for quite some time, and I just added those check it out, check it out, all that to it. It's also like kind of if you've ever watched Living Single, you recognize that is. Yeah, you know, that's literally what she's saying. Check it out, check it out. Do what you want, don't break, cause it's your world. I was like, oh, okay, Queen Latifah. Hope you don't mind me borrowing. So, you know, I love that song because I created the beat. I sampled it. I literally did all the production for it.
Yeah.
So I'm extremely proud of that song. So that's why I'm very happy to like perform it all the time. Also, it's about keeping your peace and setting boundaries with people, which is extremely important. And for some reason in 2025, we're just now learning to do that. So, and we're learning to teach our children to do that. I don't know. Anyway, that's why it's my favorite. So.
I love it. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. This is like, does anybody remember the show VH1 pop-up video? Or like behind the music? Like I was a geek for those. I was always looking for the little bubbles to pop up and explain different things. I'm like, all day, right? Like, that's what that means? I love it. Okay.
And now you're a nerd about it.
And now I'm a nerd.
Oh, did you know that song was actually?
Yes. I will never forget the Tin Roof Rusted from Love Shack.
Oh.
Yes. The Tin Roof Rusted. It means she's pregnant.
What?
Did anybody else know that? No. Well, the pop-up video taught me that at some age when I should not have known it. Okay, I don't get it either.
I'm trying to figure out how does that translate.
Right? Like, nobody knows. Okay, so I've been asking a lot of questions, and now I want to see what questions you all have for each other. I asked everybody on the panel to ask a question of somebody else on the panel, and something that you've been curious about each other around before. So I don't know who wants to start. I don't know if y'all saw that part of my email, but
maybe I didn't read the email properly. I thought I did. Anyway, honestly, Devin actually already answered the question that I had because I was like, you always have like these amazing, like, church-like breakouts when you're playing, and I'm like, were you raised in the church? Because like you know something. I know you know something.
I have a deep appreciation for gospel music.
Yeah.
But I went to a white church growing up. So it does not come from that. Believe it or not, it does not come from that. I really like a lot of my favorite keyboard players came from the church. A big inspiration for me was Corey Henry, like when I was getting into it, who's he's an insane player all around, but he grew up in the church playing gospel, and I discovered him originally through, he played for like a jazz supergroup called Snarky Puppy, and then I saw his tiny desk of him with his band, the Funk Apostles. And
these names are amazing.
Yeah, dude. I saw them. They're all dressed up in their robes and stuff, playing some funk music. I was like, okay.
This is amazing.
I saw him playing on that Moog that he has, and that's why I bought a Moog. Literally, I was like, I need to play like that. I was like,
I want everything that guy has. I feel that. Okay, last question. So your last song that you played, was it Terminal?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like I heard a sample of the theme song to Doug.
So
And I don't know if it was
So what
intentional
had
or if
happened
it just
was-
so happened. But I was like, if he did this on purpose, masterpiece.
no, I do like to quote things in my songs and just in my playing. Vargo and I Devin and I do that usually to mess with each other on stage. He'll throw Star Wars into his solo just to mess with me.
love that.
We'll do things like that live. That I have never actually heard of that show, but I will. Yeah, yeah. We'll throw in like the riff from the X-Men and stuff. But yeah, I've never heard that show. Heard of that show.
Heard of Doug Funny?
We're gonna have to introduce
Maybe.
him
I
to
aged
Doug.
myself already. All
Oh
right.
my goodness.
Maybe I'm a baby. I don't know.
Oh man, jeez.
It's okay.
It's
All right.
okay. I think if you heard it though, you would hear it.
I'm sure. Yeah, there's definitely one of the interesting things about music is that there's nothing that hasn't been done already at this
Absolutely.
point. So it's I think it's about expressing yourself through the things that interest you, and everyone. I might play the same lick as another person,
Yeah.
but I'm not gonna play it like that person.
Yeah.
It's gonna translate to my voice, and that's part of why I always decided that I didn't need lyrics in a lot of my music, because I was just I don't know, for one, I didn't feel like I had anything that interesting to say, just vocally, you know what I mean? I just was I don't know, there's so many people that have interesting messages to convey, and I just don't. I don't
The
feel
music
like I
speaks
have
for
that.
itself though, dude.
Yeah. I did have a question for you regarding your production stuff. What kind of samples catch your ear? What kind of stuff do you listen to when you're looking for samples and stuff like that?
I just like you, I have a love for funk. Parliament, Funkadelics, stuff like that. I was heavy into it as a kid because my dad was super into it. So I love funk, but I also am obsessed with lo-fi. I love very lo-fi and calm things. It's crazy because there's one side of me that is super hyper electronica, house music, let's beat down the door and dance until we're blue in the face. And then there's another side of me that's I can't take any more of that music. My grandmother used to call it chaka chaka music, because it was just loud and intense. And I have this very lo-fi side of me that really likes relaxed lo-fi, R&B, neo-soul type stuff. So it's a very odd mixture that I am, but often I am trying to combine those worlds, or I am trying to make variations of those worlds within each other, which is very difficult to do at times, but that's often what I'm looking for, is either funk, house music, or, lo-fi, R&B, neo-soul.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's part of why your production resonates with me. Whenever I'm hearing the beats you're making, I'm oh, dude, I can hear some cool stuff in there. Because I
appreciate it.
I like a lot of that same stuff, so I can definitely hear that in where you're getting your samples. It's really cool.
Very much appreciated, buddy.
Now, do you have a question for this guy? Do you got a question? Where's Well, you can ask. You can ask it.
yeah.
You can ask it anyway.
I mean, to kind of piggyback off of it, in a different way, when you do write, when you're putting a song together, I guess the first part of it is, do music or lyrics come first? And then the second part is, when you are writing lyrics, are you focusing primarily on your own experience, or are you looking at maybe concepts also, or both?
Yeah. I have really bad imposter syndrome. Really bad. So it often puts me in a chokehold. So a lot of the music that you guys even hear from me is years old, several years old, and I am either revamping it or manipulating it so that it finally fits what I was, going for in the first place. Sometimes the music does come first, and then I'll write, a verse for it. And I'm like, for some reason, this is just not sitting well with me. I can't figure out how to record this properly. So I'll hold on to the verse. And then, I do nothing with it. And then, that's why, when we're doing like a random jam session or freestyle, I just have verses like in my head. I'm like, well, whatever, let me just pick this one. So often, there's literally no method to my madness. I am just a crazy person sometimes. Sometimes I hear a sound and it influences me. Sometimes I hear a song and just like the way that the artist created the song, like $96 is actually kind of fashioned after, and guys forgive me, but this is the old version of him, Spaceships by Kanye. It's from his College Dropout album, his very first album. And it's working this grave shift, night mission. I wish I could buy me a spaceship and fly. And he's just like essentially singing about, the trials and tribulations of his everyday job. So it kind of influenced me in that way. Sometimes I just kind of get the bug and I get influenced. And sometimes, a random bar will pop up in my head and I'm like, I can't do anything with this, so I'll put it in my notes app. And then when somebody's like, hey, could I get a verse? And I'm like, sure, let me take that out of my notes app and continue. So zero method to my madness. I wish I did have a proper answer, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah. No, I definitely relate to that. I don't think of myself as a songwriter because that would imply that I'm sitting down and writing songs.
Exactly. Sometimes
really
it's just
the way
spoken
that it
word,
works. Yeah, very cool. Do you have any questions for your bandmate?
I feel like Devin and I know each other too.
Oh my goodness, very cool. Well, we'll do, Trevor, let us know too where we are with time, but one of the things that I did ask was for you all to perform a new song. It could be something that nobody's heard yet. It could be something that's unfinished. But something totally new. And so, second Devin will kick us off.
So this is the newest thing that we have as City Sun. I'll put it that way.
Super new.
Yes?
No? Okay.
Definitely nobody's heard it except for maybe us.
Okay,
Maybe
got it.
us.
That counts.
It is going to be released soon, so if you are on the lookout for us, it's the first one that's coming up to be released. So. My laptop restarted for some reason.
Oh, Lord. Well, I will say, too,
One moment.
I know we don't have a lot of people here, but if you have a question, I wasn't planning to do this, but if you have a question, either from just these folks that you're being introduced to for the first time, or if you've ever wanted to ask a musician a question, and, Beyonce isn't here, so we have these folks instead, like, you can ask them the question, so.
A little better, a little worse.
Yeah. We'll get through the new songs, and then I'll turn back to the audience. Okay.
Hazy skies, what I see when I look in your eyes. Maybe I could have said it better. Normalized, reaching toward a never-ending light. Summarize every single afternoon. afternoon. Lost my head, but found my soul. Fade away and grow. Give it all up if I could feel this way again. See the sun turn blue, hear the sounds I know you feel it too. Crazy about you. Can't decide if I need all this extra time to make it right. No, I haven't been there in a while. You and I need to get away, go outside in the light, make our own tune. Lost my head, but found my soul. Fade away and grow. I give it all up if I could feel this way again. See the sun turn blue, hear the sounds I know you feel too. Crazy about you. Feel this way again. See the sun turn blue, hear the sounds I know you feel too. Crazy about you. Thanks.
Yeah.
This is the first time I've ever performed with backing tracks, so it's been super fun.
Oh, I love that.
You're doing awesome.
So that is the most, I don't know, the most new thing that we
most
have
new
as
thing.
a band, and yeah, Devin and I really like playing that song.
Yeah, it gives beach. It's very beachy.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
I gotta say, you said something earlier about like you got to talk over the speakers sometimes, or like sometimes shows are too loud.
Yeah.
That was what last night was for us. So we felt like we were trying to like yell the whole night, talking to the other bands, and like or understand what the other bands were like saying to us and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, I was gonna say too. It's just I hope that people can appreciate here, or even like who are watching the video later, that like it is a really raw thing when you have a whole band to just like be you and be the one that's performing, right? Like there's a way in which a band can kind of provide a cocoon or a cushion or shared energy, but it's a big thing for these folks who usually have a whole thing. I mean, this is more in your vein, but who have a whole production to just be really raw and present
like you're
with you all here.
Man.
Oh man. Well,
I
sir,
wish I had a band all the time. All the time.
you want to do your new thing,
Yeah.
and then we'll get you.
Okay.
This song is it's called Dance Frequencies. This is the least finished song that I had available, so I felt like it was the right time.
I like it. It's a debut of a not quite complete song here. The thing with your songs is I'm never always sure if you're done. I'm like, ah.
I do enjoy tricking the audience sometimes.
Well, you do it a lot. I'm like, ah.
Yeah, that song is really raw. The other ones are actually already out. That one, no one else has even played on that track yet. I played literally everything on that, which is why it's not mixed so great, like how Devin would mix it. So yeah, that one is it's really fun to play, and I'm excited to debut that one live. Overgrowth is a much bigger band now than it ever has been in terms of size.
Yeah.
We have like doubled in size in the past year, which is, yeah, it's super fun. I've always wanted to play in a big band, and yeah, I'm super happy that opportunity has come. We have like a full horn section now, and we're doing like double drums at shows. It's just it's become a whole collective of like 10 people that just come in and out. It's a super good time, and that song is it's really fun to play. So I'm excited for that one to eventually make it out.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, your new song, and then I'm coming to the audience if anybody has a question.
Yeah.
And then we'll have, I think, a couple questions and wrap ourselves up. So your
This
new
is
song,
an
Mama.
Untapped territory. Go ahead. This is gonna be one of those situations where I'm gonna throw in a random verse. Maybe broke but not broken. I sold a couple dubs and dimes until I get paid to buy my paper studio time. Mission to shine, take what's mine. You ain't one of a kind. Wake up, Remy X. You come up as up next. Hot, but don't flex, Think of let your respect, motivation and meditation and concentration. I'ma make it no matter what all the cynics saying. I try to taste it, try to encase it in case I waste it. Moving forward just to move backwards. I get to writing, but my lyrics don't make sense. Keeps the change in the past tense. I think it's quite melodic, it's not a common sense. I keep a couple dollars on me in case the homies need a token. I'm broke but not broken. Keep a couple dollars on me in case the homies need a token. Maybe broke but not broken. Keep a couple dollars on me in case the homies need a token. Insecure off season, a habit of overthinking, thinking of dumb reasons why I shouldn't make it, but I'm taking it all back. These haters is off track, I'm ready on the attack. Oh yeah, I'm slack, go get some lessons in archery. Yo, arrows won't be harming me, my sunflowers in armory. My vibes are drug, no pharmacy, my sound gon' ring in harmony. Orchestra style in Carnegie, flattered that they mocking me, Mirror madness, maniacal thoughts and sadness got me talking to myself like you really feeling this fastest. Reevaluate, had to meditate and refocus. Your dreams are manifesting, they'll keep you from feeling hopeless. Know this, I'm scared to lose, but I'm terrified that I win. I'm trembling from within, I feel it under my skin. I'm tripping. I know that I picture millions like Kodak, but what if Ben got his own catch? Maybe I'll stick to the throwback. Woo! Like I said, that song is not done at all. I made the beat last year. I started writing the song. The verse that is being sung is actually a rap that I converted into a song. So this song is not done, not in the least bit, but you know, I did take that verse though from a different song that I have. So you know, I'm still working on it, but that's my unfinished track. It's called Unbroken.
Yes. My heart is so happy to get an exclusive. We got a reminisce
super
exclusive up here.
exclusive.
Super duper exclusive.
Yeah,
I love it. So anybody out there, do you all have questions for these folks who are just sharing themselves and their artistry with you? If not, that's fine, but I wanted to. Are you?
she was.
Yeah, well, the furthest away that anybody has played so far. Where?
I think Nashville.
Come on, Nashville.
But, well, so do you mean with the group that we're representing tonight or just like singularly? Okay. I think City Sun, probably Detroit, Metro Detroit area, like 3.5, 4 hours away. Yeah, singularly though.
Or Jackson.
For me, or Jackson, yeah, Jackson, Michigan. But then, yeah, Nashville, I think for me, might be the furthest,
Nice.
potentially. I could be forgetting something.
That's an interesting question. Are we talking like booked gig or like open mic or like randomly just showed your ass in public? Like what are we talking? Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I would probably say Miami, because I went down there to see a Masego concert. He was performing with a live orchestra, so I could not miss it. I got front row seats. It was incredible, yes. But I went to an open mic down there, and I performed $1.96, and this lady ran up to me and was like, "Oh my God, can I get your autograph and a picture?" And I was like, "Sure. I am not a known person. I don't know why you want these things, but thank you. Very much appreciated." And then later that trip, we went out to this Jamaican bar, and the DJ was like playing different stuff, and I knew all the words to stuff, and he was like, "Wow, let me give you the mic," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So I'm rapping all the words, and then he was like, "You ever thought about being a rapper?" I was like, "I am one." So I was like, "Play a beat real quick." So I did. So I just started like rapping my song, and he was like very impressed with me. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's probably the furthest. Yeah.
I love a Miami.
For me, it probably would also be Nashville, but definitely separately. One of my good buddies that I played with in my band from high school lives out there, and he does music out there professionally. So I've gone down there and hung out with him for a couple days, crashed at his house, and played some open jams and stuff, and then just hung out with his band a little bit. And yeah, but I haven't, probably the farthest I've played away with Overgrowth would probably be Grand Rapids. But that was, that's only like, it only halfway counts.
Well, no, I think it all
Michigan has
counts.
the
It
gigs.
counts. So with my band, which these two gentlemen are a part of, and this woman over here has a feature,
Yeah.
I've actually individually sang in Australia before. So that was very motivating for me. So basically, went to Australia for a different purpose, assembled a band from here. I'm like, I really want to play a show. Found a play keyboard, play all the things, and then did a house show out there. So it was pretty cool.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
This is
2018,
new
one
to
of the
me.
best years of my life. Okay, maybe not the best years of my life, but yes.
Yeah.
Any other questions over there? Y'all in the cut looking, y'all chilling over there? No questions?
No
Yes, she said, well, I'm wearing my shades inside. I don't know.
I love that for you.
I love it. Okay, well, we'll wrap up with just a couple questions, and then we'll all do something together. I have way more questions than I'm able to ask. One of my favorite quotes, I'll just do two more, and then we'll close with a song that we're all going to do. And I'll make sure that you all say your socials and where people can find you,
Yeah,
because
of
I always
course,
forget
of
that.
course.
But one of my favorite quotes from Nina Simone, if anybody knows Nina Simone here, she says, an artist's duty, as far as I'm concerned, is to reflect the times. I think that is true of painters, sculptors, poets, musicians. As far as I'm concerned, it's their choice, but I choose to reflect the times and the situations in which I find myself. And that's the end of the quote. And so that's something for me, and that's something for Nina. But like, do you feel like you have an artist duty of some kind? Is there a philosophy or some principle, or and maybe the answer is no, but is there some philosophy or some duty that you feel as an artist that comes through in your music?
Oh yeah.
And I won't pick anybody. Just jump in if that's what you feel you can answer.
Well, earlier I mentioned that part of the reason I've never put any lyrics in Overgrowth or anything is just because I didn't feel like I had anything that I should be saying. Even if a lot of the things that I believe in, I don't believe that I am in the place that I should be speaking on it. You know what I mean? Just because it's, a lot of them are, delicate topics and stuff. But that's part of why I really enjoy being a part of Rebel Noir, because you are from a place that you can speak on those things and it is valid, and it's, it can come from your personal experience. And I feel like I would rather lend my voice to someone who, can convey the message from authenticity and really stand on that. And I think that the support role, it suits me in that way. So like, I think that is a lot of my motivation in music is, with Overgrowth, it's more about expressing energy, and I just want Overgrowth to be like a positive light, for people that, it's not like it's the most uplifting music in the world. It's just fun music to dance to, you know what I mean? It's sometimes I think that's all you need. It's just some good vibes, and I'm not pushing any message with it really, because I don't, say any words. So but that's why I enjoy being in Rebel Noirs, because it's a project that I can be a part of that has something to say, and I don't feel like a cornball writing lyrics.
I think.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I think the duty or the standard, like in my eyes, is kind of the same thing as if I'm going to say something or write lyrics, I want them to be authentically what I'm feeling or what I have gone through. And even if it's a concept, that it is something that I'm doing the checks and balances on. I know about this thing, So I think there is a standard there, and then I think that duty also, like what Devin said, is there is space, or like artists need to make sure that the space that they are occupying is not them stepping on other artists that maybe can speak that truth of that space a little bit better. And maybe I'm not saying that in the best way or the most articulate way, but that's how I see it, where if I see somebody that would have more experience on a specific subject, no matter what it is, and I don't, and I believe in the concept, it's probably not my place to talk about it. And I can be there as support. And, and being in Rebel Noir as well, absolutely, but even just writing lyrics in general, it is a really, really hard thing. And I think that's why I write so slowly, is I want to make sure that I'm genuinely feeling these things. And putting them together in the right way, so that it feels natural and it feels like I'm saying the thing that I want to say. And maybe sometimes it is something that maybe not anybody can relate to. But I think the other part of that duty is people are looking for something to relate to. Especially right now, there's so many things, like we'd be here until 2 a.m. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think just putting your authentic self into your art, even if it's instrumental, showing that you respect the craft and the audience enough to practice and rehearse, and you don't have to be the most flashy player, but I think people can understand when you aren't being a genuine musician or even a genuine vessel for what you're trying to display. So I think being genuine is a really huge part of that as well.
Yeah, thank you.
My philosophy, because if anything, if I am anything, I am philosophical. But I think when it came to my music, like I said, I was a big part of the Black Power movement of 2016, and I started this thing called Young Royalty, and it was essentially for young Black children to look at themselves as king and queens versus looking at themselves like slaves, you know, like because, oh, that was like a part of our history, but it was a blink of our overall history. And all of us don't identify with that history because every Black person is not from America, you know? So, you know, helping them understand that, helping them understand, you know, just basic everyday things that, you know, young Black children didn't get taught. But unfortunately, I wasn't getting the necessary support that I needed around that time. So I pivoted to music. And one thing that I made sure of was that whatever I create, I want to make sure that young Black girls can, you know, sing it, dance to it, have a good time to it. No matter what it was, you know, that I was talking about. Sometimes I'm talking about, hey, we get money, but I am getting money. I don't need your money. I am getting my own. Or I'm talking about, hey, this is, you know, the everyday life, you know. Some things might be a little hypersexual maybe at times because I am a woman and a human being. But I often don't like using the P word when in reference to my parts. And I don't like using the B word when in reference to other women and things like that. So those are two words that I do not use in my music because I feel like that is 90% of women's music right now, and it just oversaturated the market for me. I don't like it at all. I don't shun any woman for using it. I will sing along with the song if I feel it, but I try to make sure that whatever I am presenting, if a child comes across it, they can sing it loud and proudly, and it can resonate with them, and they can grow up with it, kind of how India Irie's song video did for me. So.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
I also don't use those words in my music either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
I don't think you use any words in your music, but go off.
Especially not those.
Specifically those, though.
Especially not those.
Yeah, yeah, you know. I love that for you.
Yeah. I love that. And then the last, oh God, I have so many more questions, but I will not ask all of them. Y'all sure? Y'all good? You missed with the, you good? No questions?
No more.
Okay. If you were not a musician, if you were not
Would
a
I be dead or something?
musician,
I don't know. Like, what
and
is
you could be anything in the entire universe, the universe, what would you be?
I had an entire separate career goal. That was like, I really just had to choose. Once I ended up having a child at 18, so at that point I was like, well, I need to pick one hobby.
Yeah.
and that's it. So
Because this kid is my other
yeah,
hobbies.
right. So I was like, in order to do this and do it right, I need to have just one hobby. But I really wanted to be a comic book artist. And honestly, a lot of my music reflects a lot of the stuff like that I'm into. I'm honestly a huge nerd in terms of music and otherwise. So like a lot of the music that I'm writing is very like in my head. It's like cinematic and relating to. I'm like, oh, this would be such a cool like action scene in like a comic book movie. Like imagining like a chase sequence or something like that. Like a lot of that comes from having played a lot of video games growing up. But like I said, my dad was an art teacher, So on top of all the music stuff being around, there was absolutely no shortage of art supplies. And I found myself just drawing all the time. They encouraged that as something to do for fun. So, yeah, I just would draw all the time. They tried so hard to make me want to draw anything else but just comic books, but it didn't work. I would get into advanced art classes, and they would be trying to get me to draw some portrait of a, one thing or another. I'm like, no, I'm drawing Batman right now. Sorry. Some of the art teachers didn't like that, but that was what, the same way I am with music. I just had my mind set on what I wanted to do, and there was nothing that was going to stop me from doing it, except for apparently having a child. But I still pick up the pen every once in a while and just start drawing stuff. I've in high school, when I was deciding on a career that would help boost that and my music, I took graphic design. I took 2 years of graphic design in the hopes that I was like, well, I can draw myself album covers, I can make our album art, but also, again, I can draw Batman when I want to. And it really annoyed my teacher in that class because she wanted me to do actual graphic design stuff, which is really boring. I just was like,
that
no.
was my past profession, sir. Don't you dare. Graphic design is not boring. Tis not.
No, it was just like, okay, like, can you create an advertisement for this company, but in a Helvetica font, and that's it? And I'm like,
Oh, God.
No, I cannot. Okay,
Lack of
I'm
creativity.
sad about that activity.
Stifling.
Okay, others. And then we'll close out, I think, with a song.
So I have the choice, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
Like
in the
choice of
universe,
Okay,
if
I
you
could
were
just-
not a musician,
Okay.
what would you do instead?
Astronaut.
Anything. That
NASCAR
you don't
driver.
even have to train. You could be it right now.
Like right now, I really need a plumber. Like, so I'd probably be a
Not I
plumber.
really need a plumber.
Like this house.
Not what you need, but what would you be? Like, imagine your plumbing situation is solved.
Okay. So they are, yeah. So those plumbing issues are solved. I don't know. When I was a kid, I dreamt of playing sports like professionally. I really wanted to be a professional skateboarder. That was like the top of the list is like skateboarding, hockey, basketball. I was not good at any of them. So yes, one of those maybe. I almost also went to school for graphic design. Really enjoyed it. But if it's still staying in the realm of music, I think when I was like 12 or 13, got hooked on like wanting to be an audio engineer, like a studio engineer. And so I just started doing it. And I guess I would do that full time if I wasn't playing.
That's true.
Or
performing.
plumbing.
Or
apparently.
plumbing.
Or
But
plumbing.
realistically, probably plumbing.
Nice. Oh, God.
Being a plumber is a good
I mean, we
career.
love plumbers.
Yeah,
that's a
It's
very
it's-
achievable
it's-
goal.
And it's
Solid.
very needed
Yeah.
all over
Right,
the
yes.
world.
We need one.
Make some good,
Make some good money.
So I actually went to a school of the arts when I was about 13, 14. And at that school of the arts, I did musical theater, and fashion design. So around that time, I still wanted to be a rapper, but I was also learning how to DJ and things like that. But obviously, that's not a prevalent career that they're going to teach you at a school of the arts. So I kind of had to like deal with what I had. But I fell in love with acting, actually. So I would probably be either an actress or a drama teacher, and potentially even a fashion designer, because I know how to sew and design and style and things like that. So that's one of my hidden talents that I don't talk about because, Jesus has it on lock right now. So I just, let him be
definitely
him.
does.
Yeah, I'm just, go ahead, fashionista. Yeah, I'm actually just got the lead role in 7 Guitars at the South Bend Civic Theater.
Yeah.
I'm playing Vera.
Come on, Vera.
So, yeah, when that hits the stage, I think, in September. Be sure to be on the lookout for tickets, and you can see my face in my fallback career.
Come on, fallback career. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up with, we'll do type of time so Nia can participate too. I am a part of a band. People have referenced it before. My name is my government name. My mama's name, the name my mama gave me, is Nikisha, but I perform under the name Rebel Noir, and I have a band called Rebel Noir and the Accomplices. Devin is my guitarist. Other Devin was my drummer and his keyboard. And we have a song where Reminisce is featuring. And so usually you can imagine the bassist and the drummer and the whole set. This is going to sound a little bit more poetic, but I wanted to close with something that we could all do. And then we'll give our socials and we'll let y'all go hang out and do whatever it is you want for the rest of your Friday. This is called Type of Time. Okay. You can snap to this. Hey, hey. Expanding like the cosmos, I move like only God knows, a giant with no limits. I see it when I feel it till I be it in the natural. I walk the way that queens walk, walk my things out. I'm half human, half amazing. What time I won't be playing, I'll be accelerating. 25 gonna be my greatest, 45 gonna be my latest. Standing next to Samuel and Issa, Octavia, hold my place, I'm coming. I'm on that type of time, I'm my Russell grind. I'm on my seek and find, watch me in my underline, catch me in my Nina shine. I'm on the type of time, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. I'm on the type of time, I'm my Russell grind. I'm feeling my capacity expanding like the cosmos. I move like only God knows, a giant with no limits. I see it, then I feel it till I be it in the natural. I walk the way that queens walk, pop my jaw like kings talk. I'm half human, half amazing. I'll be accelerating. I tell it 25 gonna be my greatest, 45 gonna be my latest. Standing next to Samuel and Issa, like, hold my place, I'm coming. I'm on the type of time, I'm on the Russell grind. I'm on my seek and find, watch me in my underline, catch me in my Nina shine. On the type of time, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. Ooh. I'm on the type of time, I'm on the Russell grind.
See me clearly, though my vision's blurry, and I pray I'm worthy. I'm feeling so fly, I'm high, just trying to get me closer to God. Thinking out loud, yo, there's more to this. I'll make a change of the vibe, make y'all bang the best. Listen as I spit, cause I came to bless. I'll make it go to track back as I say the rest. Cause the inner bounces to the outer, a router, an outer reflection of the inner that's bigger. The vibrations in my head are getting thicker. It's clearly time for me to lock and load and kill it. The law of mentalism clearly in the mind. Take a little thought and manifest it with a little time. Origins, invisible, transfer to physical. Universe original, the outcome, residual.
I'm on that time for time. Oh my Lord, so grind. I'm on my soul divine. I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. Whoa. I'm on that type of time. On my love soul grind. I'm on my soul divine. I'm on it. Whoa. I'm on the type of time, I'm on the Russell grind. I'm on my seek and find, watch me in my under nine, catch me in my Nina shine. On the type of time, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it, I'm on it. Yeah, 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 I'm on the type of time, on my little Russell grind. Yeah. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, thank you,
I
thank
know,
you, thank
I'm like,
you.
oh, I've messed that up a couple times, but the
Oh,
last
girl,
time I got
bye.
it, I'm
It was
on
good.
on that type of time.
I couldn't tell.
Oh, well, no, I could really. Okay, so real quick before we go, Devin Vargo, how can people find out about City Sun?
At City Sun Band, and that's pretty much across all socials. If you want to find out about the other bands that I'm in and that probably Devin Brewer is also in, at DCV Guitar is my personal music page. So City Sun Band or DCV Guitar.
Excellent.
I am Reminisce With Me. Very easy to remember, very easy to find. Reminisce With Me. And if you cannot find that, I am Reminisce, period, X. That is simple. So how you would spell, any type of initialed name. So Reminisce dot X. Cool.
Excellent. How about you?
Unfortunately, mine is going to be the hardest to find because I do not spell things normally. Well, you can find me on Instagram at Overgrowth, OVRGRXWTH. And we will be posting some upcoming shows and stuff on there. And it's a whole different experience, seeing the full band versus just playing along some tracks. So keep an eye out for some shows for that band. It's a ton of fun. You can see Devin and I hanging out, and of course, if you come check out Rebel Noir, you can see us hanging out with Miss Rebel Noir as well, and supporting her vision. We're around. We play in South Bend, Elkhart, Goshen all the time. So check us out.
And I go under the name Rebel Noir. You can find me at rebel.noire on Facebook, on Instagram, and all the things. And usually I remember my lyrics. And we got a whole situation tearing it up when we're all together. So thank you to the Elkhart Public Library for hosting Songs and Stories.
Be the light.
Oh, yes. Our next show is July 26th. Yeah, we're all going to be
Yes, indeed.
in South Bend at a venue called Stockroom East for a visual mixtape. If you want to see video and songs and poetry and everything just all meshed together. Action Adam is a fantastic creator, and he's bringing people together from as far as Chicago, South Bend, Elkhart, all over. That will be a massive show, July 26th, starting at 8 p.m. So follow us. Thank you to the library, and hopefully we did a good job with this kickoff. Thank you all.